Welcome to Bottom Line Inner Circle. Today I want to talk about where I get my motivation and inspiration from. And this goes to a very personal level with me. Um, anyway, a little bit more about me. I started in politics about eighth grade, and going all the way up into high school. I never really mentioned it much, but I was always interested in politics until after high school. I was more interested in working than doing anything, and going all the way up till about 26, 27. It was about 26 or 27, and I got into a debate with someone about abortion. And I I live in a tight community, and listening to this other person's ideals, and he was from Texas, but listening to his ideals was totally opposite of mine. And it just brought me right back into politics. And since that day, I've been in politics ever since. And again, I never really left. I've always listened, listened to talk radio, and read the newspapers and looked at the local news. I've always been interested. But so starting on my journey, if you will, I ran across uh, the White Rose Society. And if you don't know who they are or what they were in World War II, and they were college students who started this society, the White Rose Society, and where they wrote leaflets and passed them out. Now, they typed leaflets actually, and they typed about 3 to 500 a night because that's all they had. They didn't have printers to print them up one after another or copiers to copy them. So they actually hand typed these leaflets, and they could only do about 3 to 500 a night, and they would go around putting them up the next day on posts, on doorsteps, throwing them over the edges of schools, going through the city, dropping them on the streets. And anyway, when you study about these people, which later they were caught by the Gestapo. And if you don't know what Gestapo means, it means secret police. So they were stopped by the Gestapo, and they were caught. Actually, in fact, there's a movie about it. If you want to watch the movie, it will explain it. But they were caught by the police, and then they were beheaded. And there's a ton of written material on them also. So, but I just want to focus on the leaflets because that's where I get my inspiration from. And there's a lot of history, both history from back then and history before then, and that's where I have drawn my inspiration from, is Sophie Scholl and freedom of speech, and it's an amazing thing. And if you do go look for these, I know that there's leftists out there, and in fact I go onto sites and leftists have Sophie Scholl's name, and to me it's if there's one thing that irks my chain, it's to see a leftist use Sophie Scholl's name and say that they're fighting against the Nazis on the right, when they have no idea what those people have no idea what they're fighting against. And let me explain. Sophie Scholl, if those people are indoctrinated to believe that anybody on the right is a Nazi or is Hitler or is Hitler-esque or is whatever, they don't look at the actions. But if you look at the actions of what these things are, and this brings up another point. If you want to see a really good documentary, it's called The Goebbels Experiment. And what they did is they took excerpts of Goebbels' diary, and they just read word for word excerpts from his diary and put video with it. And it's really good because there's a lot of video in World War II video that I have never seen in that documentary, and there's also a lot of history in that documentary, and no one can refute it because it's in Goebbels' own journal. And if you actually look at the actions they were taking back then and compare it to the Obama years, it's Gleichentun. And if you don't know what that means, it means lock in step, or if you aren't with me, you're against me. But it's lock in step with the Obama administration and their actions. So, and we all know that Obama was saying one thing, but doing actions with his other hand, like pay attention to this show over here, but what I'm really doing over here is what's really happening. And you could see that with Israel. What he said that he was always for Israel, always came out of his mouth, but really, what was he doing? Giving $400 million to Iran, or $400 billion, or whatever, however much he gave. But the Gleichschaltung, lock in step with the actions. And these people who use Sophie Scholl's name and the White Rose Society leaflets names, and they're saying that we're fighting against the right. Well, what exactly are they fighting against? Because again, freedom of speech. Sophie Scholl got caught for her freedom of speech and beheaded. And these same people, where are they talking about the freedom of speech and the right being? It's totally asinine to me. And they don't know what they're talking about. And whenever I see it, I go on the attack, because to me it's putting Sophie Scholl's name to disgrace and the White Rose Society's name to disgrace. And I talk about the White Rose Society, and some people have even called me on it. Well, they're leftists. That's a leftist. Or no, I'm like, no. Are you kidding me? That's exactly what they are fighting against. And when you look up the leaflets, you might see a few leftist sites that start talking about how the right is doing this and the right is doing that. To go ahead and read it, because you'll see, then read the leaflets, and you'll see how backwards. But see, this is what the left does: is they twist words, they twist the narrative, they twist history, and we can even see that them pulling down history. Everything that Sophie Scholl stood for is exactly opposite of what the left are saying. That Sophie Scholl is on their side, saying that. Anyway, it's confusing, but that's what the left does, is they cause confusion. Anyway, so my advice is, when you do look up the White Rose Society and leaflets, go to actually sites that aren't political, read down the sites, and if you get a hint of political, either the right or the left, just move on. There's plenty of college students just writing an essay on them that have the leaflets in there. So, and you can go, anyway, I hate to say wiki, but you can go to wiki and read them there. Anyway, but that's where, and again, if you do, I would prefer you start with leaflet number 3. That is my favorite leaflet of all. I think it encompasses the first 2 and where they were going later. I think that was their peak. And, again, there's a lot of history in there. And if you ever read Anne Frank, if you get a picture of Anne Frank and these leaflets, they paint in a picture that you get of Germany. That's exactly what's happening today. Then if you add in that Goebbels experiment, if you combine all 3 of those, you'll be stunned and shocked to what the left is doing and what the left has done and what they're still trying to accomplish even out of power. So, and that is where I get my inspiration from, is Sophie Scholl, and my motivation from, and that's where I wanted to start these. I've been wanting to do this for a few years now, and I've been scared. Always put it off, and it's time. But again, in a year and a half, it's 2020 election. I got to start putting my time where my mouth is, my money where my mouth is. And it does. It takes time and money to do this. It takes time and money to sit there and voice your opinion on Facebook or YouTube or on theheal.com or wherever you want to go blog. Or create videos or watch my videos. It takes time, and I hate wasting time. I'm very selfish with my time. But I got to start creating something and putting it out there, putting my ideas out there, and I hope others too. And my previous video, I was talking about motivating other people to go out and create their own videos. Well, this goes line in step with that go get out there and put out your voice. Now's the time. Who knows how long we're going to have this, and don't be scared into submission, because that's exactly what they want. Again, we're living through Sophie Scholl's era. And another thing is, I've posted some White Rose Society and leaflets on Facebook. Some of them have been deleted off, and same with YouTube and other sites. Some of them have just been taken off. And I'm like, well, why are they so scared of what's in these leaflets? Well, if you read them, there really is a blueprint on how to defeat the left. The left has how many rule books? They have Saul Alinsky, they have Karl Marx, they have Cloward and Piven, they have all the Mussolini. They have all the books going all the way back, and every single one of them is a rule book, and every single one of them creates rules and rules for radicals. And anyway, they all have playbooks, and the right really doesn't have a playbook, unless you consider Hitler on the right. But again, of course, that's the left twisting the narrative, saying and teaching the young, who will actually believe it, that Hitler was on the right. Anyway, we got to stop the lies. We got to stop the spread of them letting. We can't let them twist the narrative. They take down history. Anyway, it all goes line and step with that. And anyway, there's actually a way to defeat the left in these. And I just hope we don't get to the point where Sophie Scholl was. And there's actually a paragraph in there about sabotage and everything. And I hope we don't let it get that far. But who knows how fast we can fall from here. But I encourage you to go read up on some of this stuff. Go watch the Goebbels Experiment, and go listen, read the White Rose Society leaflets, and go watch the Sophie Scholl movie, and read Anne Frank. That's another big one. All this is history, and all this is truth, and all this is fact. So, I mean, Anne Frank is a diary from a girl who was hiding from the Nazis, and she was looking out her window and watching society degrade, and how fast it degraded. And anyway, really good book, and she was also caught and executed. Another interesting fact about Sophie Scholl and Hans Scholl is when they had their and again, this goes into what is happening today with the left, and how they're changing laws and pushing the boundaries in the fabric of society. But there were rules in place and laws in place where if you were convicted of treason, which she was convicted of treason because she was voicing her opinion, she was convicted of treason, voiced her opinion, and she was beheaded for it. But at the time, they were supposed to wait, I think, 2, 3, or 6 weeks before she was executed, but they knew the war was coming to an end. So she was executed within 24 hours of her, or was it 24 or 72 hours? I can't remember. But she was executed way shorter time period than, I think it was 24 hours. And so they broke their own rules to execute her. And that's exactly what the left does, is they get to break the rules, but no one else does. And then when they get caught in their own trap, then they pull it back and say, well, you can't do that. And I have many examples on that about the left. But anyway, we'll leave it there. I hope you get something from this video. I hope you like, share, and subscribe if you like these videos. Press the like button. There was another, I wrote a blog on this a while ago about them changing the algorithms. We need the right. If the left is all in tune. The right, however, are lazy. And I don't think they're meant to be lazy, but they just don't know how the algorithms work and everything. And I'm not talking about my videos. Of course, I'd like you to like my video. But I'm also talking about any videos or any Facebook post you like. Press the like button. It just takes a second. Press that like button and get those likes going out there. Get these videos to be shared and stuff. The more people that do it, the more people see the video, and it's the algorithm that they do. And now that YouTube has gone to more corporate leanings, and what I mean, they would rather support their corporate, like MSNBC and even Fox News and CNN, before they would support us. And we're the bread and butter of YouTube. That's what they were started out as. But learn the algorithms. Don't be a lazy like button pusher, and press that like button. And if you don't like it, don't like the video, or press down like. But I also have a rule that if I ever press the down like, I always leave a note why I don't like the video. So if you just press the down button because you don't like my ugly face, then that's what I'm going to assume you're pressing the down button for. But we can't. The people on the right can't be lazy anymore. If you like the video, or like the message, or like what I have to say, write a comment and like the video, and do it to other people as well. And don't be a lazy button like pusher. We all need to be more awake and aware on that. So anyway, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.